audible and visible to all of you. Cheppandi Cheppatulsu Ledu Kadu, guys. So today is 29th September 2025, and just give me a second. I think I saw the messages of Prateek, Rishi, and Jeevayan. So yes, I can hear myself. Good morning, everyone. Prateek, Rishi, and Jeevayan. So let's start today's Hindu analysis, 29th September 2025. Good morning, Harshini. So my name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Yesterday or Saturday, I gave you two questions. This is MCQ 12. India's Thar Desert related soil reclamation project efforts such as CUOR project is aligned with the objective or are aligned with the objective of which particular organization? Very good, Rishi. UNCCD, UNFCCC, CBD, or Stockholm Convention? What is the answer, guys? And in the Saturday's Hindu analysis, we have also talked about three organizations: CCD, UNFCCC, UNCBD, and did the comparative analysis, right? Good morning, Anandu. So, what is the answer of this question? Chepandi is fast. Harshini has given the answer: CCD, UN Convention to Combat Desertification. Very good. Harshini, Jiva, and Rishi, all of you have given the answer. Green ships. So again, on Saturday, we did a technical editorial on shipyards, on dockyards. Technical, that was an editorial, right? And there we have talked about so many things. We have talked about green fuels and we have talked about green ships. So what is the answer here for green ships? Which is the best possible option for green ships? What is the basic rationale behind green ship? And guys and girls, please understand one thing. So right now we are in which particular month, man? September, right? Till January, please do answer writing as much as possible. You have to write answers till January. Be in mains mode. These, some amount of 13 15 questions or 20 objective questions, solving it daily is fine, but be in mains mode till January. Complete your optional, do a lot of answer writing. You have to do this. Your answer writing will give you rank. This prelims will help you to go into the mains mode, but until unless you crack pre, you won't write mains. But yes, you have to do a lot of answer writing practice. So how many of you here do answer writing practice daily? Harshini, Jivayan, Rishi, Prateek, and others. Do you people do answer writing practice daily or not? Do tell me. This is important. So the answer of 13 is B. And let's move on. So let's come back to the present and we'll have a discussion on this answer writing. You have to do it. You have to review it yourself. You have to review it by sending it to your senior, whatever you do, but you have to do answer writing. So first editorial, page 6. Now, my God. So today again, it was a day where there were so many technical articles, man. Technical means even the articles which look straightforward, which is not science based article, is a technical article. So here this is an article written on AI, artificial intelligence, and you will expect and you will have questions related to AI in pre and mains. Every exam is asking questions. No, sir, not on daily basis, but weekly. I'm trying to write answer in Kannada, sir. Cool, Jiva. Cool. So what is this Angel's pause? Here again, we have to focus on certain terms which are important from exam perspective. Chittaranjan Chatterjee, sir, he has written this particular editorial, and here he's talking about, like, there was a period during Industrial Revolution. What happened during that particular period? That growth was happening, but the it means the income was stagnant. Job losses were happening. Or you can say just like jobless growth we talk about. So job losses, stagnant growth, all these things were happening. And the benefit of industrial revolution was catering to few people. Few people were getting the advantage. So Chittaranjan Chatterjee, sir, is talking about how there is an AI pioneer, Geoffrey Hinton. Again, forget the names. He is saying that same thing will happen in AI now. AI benefits will trickle down to a few people, make few people richer and most people poorer. So rich will become richer, poor will become poorer, because we don't know how to use AI. Most of us, we don't know. Pratik do alternatively. Cool. So, and again, yeah. So where were we? I forgot. Yeah. So yeah, AI could make few people richer, most people poorer, because we don't know how to use it. And this echoes the idea of angel's pause. Remember this word? This is a term here. They can ask you what is the basic meaning of angel's pause. Industrial output soared in 19th century Britain. Similar thing you will see happen in America also. There was a 30-year period from 1870 to 1900 when again economy was booming, but income was stagnant. Inequality was widening. Same thing we can witness now during this AI period. So parallel concerns in AI area: high productivity growth but limited gains for ordinary people. And that's why you may have heard about this. Good morning, Harshvardhan. You may have heard about this. People say that learn AI, learn AI. My sister is doing, MTech from some IIT, and she's learning AI because the people who are in tech sector, they know where we are going with this. But very quickly answer writing. Cool, 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 Rishi. So Stanford study shows younger workers are more vulnerable to AI-driven economic changes. You know, we can understand this. So many companies, they have cut IT, they're cutting jobs, and the people or your friends who are in IT sector, they can tell you, and you already know how much vulnerable they are right now because of AI, and that's why this angel pause. Now there are terms here. GPT, we talk about GPT, chat GPT, etc. So GPT, general purpose technology. What is the basic meaning here? This is not just technology. General purpose technology means a technology which will have wide ramifications across various sectors. You know, here, like, you had internet, you had steam engine, you had, steam engine, you have power, you have so many, like, these things were also earlier GPT, general purpose technologies, and this had wider ramifications. Same thing, GPT, this AI is also a GPT. It would have wider ramifications across various sector. So this is a disruptive technology as well. Even earlier internet was a disruptive technology, steam engine was a disruptive technology, electricity was a disruptive technology. So again, be ready for widespread ramifications, and that's what they are saying. This is the basic meaning of GPT, guys. Remember it. You can write it in pre and mains. They can ask you this. What is GPT? Angel pause means that the benefit of AI will trickle down to few people, and other people will be witnessing losses. GY. So that is the basic rationale behind Angel's pause. So what we are discussing here, focus. Signs of a modern angel pause. Productivity up, wages are stagnant. Philippines call center, AI boost productivity, wages remain flat. And this is happening in our country also. I don't know about IT sector, but in our tech sector, I have been working. I was in Samsung. I was in means IT sector, and then I have been at tech sector. So, salary is somewhat stagnant, and I don't know how much. Again, AI has impacted tech sector as well, right? So, rising cost of complements. AI adoption needs expensive complements. Cloud. You need to know about so many things, cyber security and data, and how cloud different. There are different clouds where you're storing data. So, you need to have knowledge, and that's why the people who will have knowledge, they will gain, but they are very less, 1% of the people. And this is the AI this is the period of AI. So sooner you learn it, the more advantage you will acquire out of it. So unequal distribution of gains, you can see this. PricewaterhouseCoopers, they have said that AI could add more than $15 trillion, but the the pioneers, US, China, etc., they will be benefited by it. India, not so much. 40% jobs globally, IMF is saying that AI exposed. So there was a talk earlier that AI will take away jobs. Oh my God, and this will lead to job loss. That fear is not unfounded. But then people also said that even in, like, previously that has happened. Some job losses happen, but some new jobs are created. YouTuber, I don't know what, influencer, blah blah blah. So if some job goes, some other jobs will come. But how many? Like, job loss. If let's say 20 jobs are lost, minus 20, and if 10 jobs are getting created, even then the deficit is minus 10. So that is Angel's pause. So job displacement and task transformation. AI powered hospital is there. Even in Albania, you have a minister. So even ministers are not, like, they are also replaceable now. So you can understand where Angel's pause is going and what they are saying. Again, let's focus on terms. Gilded age. What is the meaning of this term, Gilded Age? 1870 to 1900, a period in America when, again, industrial revolution. See, industrial revolution did not happen at all places at same time, right? It started first in England in 1760, but then different countries got the benefit of it at different times. America was benefiting immensely from industrial revolution in 1870 to 1900, but again, stagnant income, few people. Rich was becoming richer, poor were becoming poorer. So that was the Gilded Age of America, 1870 to 1900. Hope you're understanding what is the meaning of the term Gilded Age. Rising inequality led to labor unrest. Broad welfare gains. Okay. So again, there also so many things had to be done. Trade unions, public education. Same way we have to go for AI governance. We have to teach people. Let's say GYN is there, Rishi is there, Harshvardhan is there, Harshini is there. So they will have kids. From, like, these kids from class 1 2, they have to be taught about AI governance, how we have to use it in an ethical manner, policy responses to avoid a long angel's pause. So angel's pause will be there. The people who have knowledge of AI, they will be getting immensely benefited. But will this angel pause remain for a longer period or shorter period? That depends on us. We have to be ready for skilling and reskilling revolution. There was an organization which brought reskilling revolution. So like our father's age, grandfather's age, people who are very fascinated about 10 to 6 job or something, 4 jobs, they're like, no, whatever knowledge we have acquired, that is enough. No, you have to be ready for skilling and reskilling. Only then you can survive in this particular age. And you can delay or you can minimize this angel's pause. Redistributing AI gains. Now, this is important. Robot tax universal basic income. If you people have been preparing for UPSC, you may have heard this term earlier, universal basic income. The basic rationale is give certain amount of income to everyone, because everyone, 5,000, 10,000, everyone, so that they don't have to think about money and they can focus on tapping their potential, universal basic income. I think this will come again and again in future. We will talk about it. This is an important topic. It was in news 2, 3 years back. Always, almost every week it used to come, this universal basic income. Now, robot tax is what? We have just seen there are many companies which are replacing humans with robot or AI. If you're replacing human with robot, good, but pay some tax. Pay 1 lakh rupee for every robot. We're just taking an example here. So this 1 lakh could be used for universal basic income, could be used for giving money to different people, distributing money among different people. So this is the basic rationale behind robot tax and universal basic income. And these things will, minimize angel's pause. So hope you're understanding, because angel's pause is what? Inequality is increasing. And when you're talking about inequality, GS3, you have inclusive growth. So again, treat AI infrastructure as a public good. Public good means it will help, in medicine, in pharmaceutical, it will help you a lot. So treat it as a, take it in a positive manner rather than negative manner. Why they're telling it that? Because if you go to NCRT and if you read about industrial revolution, you will realize there was a period in England when people were breaking down machines because they were like, it is taking away our jobs. So there should not be a scenario like here, people start saying things about AI that no, we don't want to use it, it is taking away our job. So you should take it as a public good rather than as a boon or bane thing. That's what we are talking. Modern societies have stronger welfare system, democracies, and faster take diffusion. So AI is a boon, it can lower cost and all these things you can see here. AI in this pause could therefore be shorter than the historical one because the time is different. It is not the time of 19th century or 18th century, where profit was the main motive. Now society has become somewhat better according to the author, according to the editorial. You may agree to disagree. OpenAI has launched a program to provide ChatGPT plus accounts to professors, facilitating their engagement on this tools. Oh my God, Pratik, thank you, yeah. Nice, yeah. So angel pause is not inevitable. Political will and policy choice. Again, let's focus here. Let's focus on the terms. So progress delayed is progress denied. What is the basic meaning here? They are saying that here the progress is related to how much we are, educating people about AI, how much AI governance is there, how much how much fast you're learning these things, whether we are implementing robot tax or UBI or not. If we delay it, then the progress will be denied. If we don't delay it, then, you know, we will get the advantage of AI along with reducing this angel's pause. So it all depends on us. Progress delayed is progress denied. Now there are some other terms which we have to understand from exam perspective. This particular statement reminded me of something. You may have heard about justice delayed is justice denied. There's another term. Justice delayed is justice denied. Then there is another term. Justice hurried is justice buried. So which one do you believe in? And this is related to judiciary. So see here, relationship. So which one do you believe in? Justice delayed is justice denied, or justice hurried is justice buried? What is your view on this, guys? And tell me and do substantiate your point. Justice delayed, justice denied, justice hurried, justice buried. Let's focus on some questions now. MCQ1. Hope you understood some part of this editorial. The more questions you solve, you will understand everything. Very important from mains perspective, very important from pre perspective. AI is very, very, very important. So what is Angel's Pause? Choose the best option. Harshini has given the answer. The term Angel's Pause. Justice denied, what I think is more important. Very good, Pratik here. What about others? Justice delayed, justice denied, justice hurried, justice buried. So Harshini, Anandu, Jeevan, all of you have given the answer. Period when technological innovations led to rapid productivity gains, but wages and living standard remain stagnant. That is Angel's Pause. Very good. Hope you understood, Jeevan. What is Angel's Pause now? MCQ2. Which of the following are example of general purpose technologies, GPTs? Harshvardhan has also given the answer. Very good, guys. Guys. What are GPTs? Justice hurried is justice buried. So there should be a balance, right? Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice hurried is justice buried. We need to have a balance there. Cool. Harshvardhan, whenever you're writing an answer, write like this 1A, 2B, because there is a time lag. When I ask the answer, and I'm also seeing my video right now and the chat section, so there is a time lag. So it's better if you write 1A, 2B so that we know which answer you're talking about. So Jivayan has given the answer for second. Harshini has also tried it. Harshvardhan has also tried it. So let's focus. What I have told you, GPTs are disruptive in nature. They had wider ramification. I have given you example. Internet is GPT, AI is GPT. So 3 and 4 has to be there. 3 and 4 has to be there. Electricity is GPT. Go back and you will realize. So 2, 3, 4. Steam power is GPT. They are all disruptive. So the answer is all. See 1, 2, 3, 4. As stated by Harshini, Harshvardhan, Prateek, Rishi, Anandu. Very good. So let's go back where I told you this thing. Internet, steam engine, electricity, all these are GPTs, just like AI. They are all disruptive. They have wider ramification, and we have to be ready for it. And we eventually big again, even if you're not ready, you will become ready after a certain period. Which of the following statement about GPTs is or are correct? Again, use option elimination. Cool, Jivan. So they require complementary innovation, institutional adjustment, and new skills to maximize benefits. They always lead to immediate broad-based welfare gains. They often cause both economic growth and disruption. So what we have discussed with this GPT is that they cause economic growth and they cause disruption. Third is correct. If third is correct, you are means left with C and D. Now they always lead to immediate broad-based welfare gains. That's what we are talking about GPTs. GPTs leads to these angel paws where inequality becomes wider. Rich are becoming richer, poor are becoming poorer. So second is wrong, right? If second is wrong, you're left with C, 1 and 3 only, as stated by Harshini, then Prateek, then Rishi, then Anandu, then Jivayan. As denied justice erodes public trust in judicial institutions. Sir, I can totally understand Harshini. Okay, sir and ma'am, let's move on to the next article. As I've told you today, like from last 3 Sundays, India-Pakistan match happens, and but again today is like this is so weird. So this is again an article, awesome article related to fiscal health of states and what has happened here. And we have to understand certain terms. One term which is very important here is vertical fiscal imbalance. Vertical fiscal imbalance, which you have to understand from this article from both pre as well as means perspective. What is vertical fiscal imbalance, guys? If you know it, you can post it in the comment section. So what is happening, what this article is talking about? See, Uttar Pradesh has recorded 37,000 crore revenue surplus. So Rishi is from Uttar Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh is in a Amrit Kal of Yogi Adityanath, 37,000 crore, more than double of Gujarat's. Even they're doing better than Modi ji, and that's why many people believe that Yogi Adityanath should be the PM. Rishi has told me that he also believes that. So it is said that it is awesome for a backward state like UP, because as we have discussed, UP comes under Bimaru, right? Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. So that is the point. But the author is saying that this is not telling you the correct picture. So when you talk about budget, what you have? Revenue surplus. So you have revenue receipt, revenue expenditure, capital receipt, capital expenditure, right? So surplus means your revenue means receipt is more than your revenue expenditure. Author is saying that this is not telling you the correct picture, guys. You are missing the broader fiscal picture here. And it's not like UP has become the best state in our country all of a sudden. We love UP because Rishi is from UP and he is a brahmachari, like brahmachari. But the point here is receipt, from where they are getting the money. If And here comes the picture of vertical fiscal imbalance. What is vertical fiscal imbalance? Vertical fiscal imbalance is, first of all, there are two terms here, vertical and horizontal. You have to pay attention and remember these words, they are important. So vertical is like A is here, B is here. This is vertical, like A is higher vertically. And then if you say A and B like this, so this is horizontal. Vertical fiscal imbalance means balance between the money of center and different states. And why this imbalance is happening? Because center has more taxation powers compared to states. Because of this particular thing, that center has more taxation power compared to states, what has happened? States are dependent upon centers for so many grants and all those stuff. So if Uttar Pradesh is having this revenue surplus, they're not generating it from their own. They are dependent on state. There are some monies, some GST compensation, some grants from center which they are taking, which has led to this revenue surplus. So don't go by the number. You have to dig deep into this whole picture. So state manage large budgets. So state has large expenditure, but they have lesser taxation power. And this creates the so-called vertical fiscal imbalance. So again, spend more than union on health and welfare. The quality of spending determines real outcomes, hospitals, schools, roads. So economists emphasize higher capital spending and control routine expenses to ensure growth and development. So surplus is fine, but from where you're getting the surplus, that is important. And if you're spending less, if your expenditure is less, are you cutting on capital spending means expenditure? That is also important, because you need to spend on capital expenditure. You need to spend on infrastructure, and you have to understand this. So there are so many things which you have to understand. You just have to don't go by the figure that Uttar Pradesh 37,000 revenue surplus. Oh my God, Uttar Pradesh is awesome. So let's focus here. State differ widely in their internal revenue capacity, how they're generating revenue. Like Maharashtra, 70% receipt they're raising internally. There are so many industries there, blah blah blah. Mumbai, etc. Many people say Mumbai is, city means gross domestic product is equal to Pakistan's or whatever. We are not going there. So 70% receipt they're getting from their own state. Arunachal Pradesh only 9%. So they are more dependent on center. I was in Arunachal, and where I was, people were like, there is so much money in Arunachal. I was like, how? They're like, they're getting so much grant from central. Same way Uttar Pradesh generated 42%, relying heavily on union transfer. So this revenue surplus, which you're seeing with Uttar Pradesh, that is not what they are generating internally. They're getting a lot of money from center. And this is a vertical fiscal imbalance picture. State, richer states like Maharashtra. We have talked about Maharashtra when we have talked about coastal states, export oriented state. So they are funding themselves. Poorer states are getting money from Delhi, dependent on Delhi. It's a coincidence, guys, that in UP and in center you have the same political party. It may or may not be the case, but generally it is said that whoever wins UP, they win Delhi. But let's not go there. What we're trying to say is, let's imagine a scenario where you have a different government at UP or different government at center. Then what will happen to UP? Because they're not generating revenue internally. Plus, then there are other issues. Kerala, they're dependent on lotteries. They are getting a lot of money from lotteries. Odisha from mining, Telangana from land sales. If these are volatile revenue, guys, it's not a fixed revenue. It's not like Kerala will always get 12,000 crore from lotteries. Odisha will always get a certain amount from mining, and Telangana will always sell a certain amount of land, right? So again, so hope you're understanding this whole revenue surplus thing. You have to also understand from where different states are generating their revenue. If they're dependent too much on center, it is not good, even if they have a revenue surplus. Guys and girls, are you understanding where we are going with this article? Borrowing spiked. So most of the states, they borrowed during COVID-19, but after post, like, COVID, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, Telangana, you can see here. So borrowing, why we're talking about borrowing, revenue receipt expenditure, we're talking about that. We're trying to understand where these states are getting their money, where they're spending their money. So the welfare paradox, surplus is equal to strong welfare state, is wrong. It's not always about surplus. It's about where you are spending your money, capital expenditure, where you're generating your money from. Your internal receipt, revenue receipt is coming from where. All these things matter. We're not saying UP is not awesome. UPSC, very nice law and order mentioned in Uttar Pradesh. I know, Rishi, if you are there, law and order will always be there, man. So yeah, what we are discussing, many states showing surpluses rely on central transfer or delayed GST compensation. Some surpluses are due to underspending on welfare. So this is not good. You're not generating your own revenue. You're not spending too much on welfare. So we have to be wary of that. Despite now, here the author is saying that we don't have much money, so to say. We are always in fiscal deficit. Even then, we have PM Kisan, Ujjwala, Ayushman Bharat, and now PM Modi sir is in Bihar giving 10,000 rupees to women, because we have so much money for these things. So the reality is, India projects extraordinary welfare ambitions on a narrow fiscal base, and this creates a system of borrowing and volatile revenue where respectable. You can understand, we are a fragile nation. When you talk from fiscal perspective, we have to generate revenue internally rather than states being dependent on center. And then even center does not have too much money. So that is what they're saying. This is a welfare paradox. UP is awesome because Rishi is there, but there are issues. Revenue surplus is not saying that it has become a very big welfare state. It has, bulldozer justice and everything, and we love it. Rishi is a big advocate. How many of you have heard about bulldozer justice? Do you support this bulldozer justice? In interview, UPSC interview, some question was asked related to this bulldozer justice. Let's focus here. So now this is the term which is the most important term from exam perspective, which has been asked a lot in pre-mains and so many other exams. So, like in UPSC and other exam, vertical fiscal imbalance. Hope you understood it. Different level of government having mismatched revenue raising power and expenditure responsibility. State have large expenditure responsibilities, health, education. They have to spend money there, but they don't have taxation power, enough taxation power. Center collects taxes, transfer a portion back to states. So states are dependent. If states are dependent heavily on central transfer, this creates a vertical imbalance. This is not horizontal imbalance. This is vertical imbalance. Horizontal imbalance means when you are comparing states, different states. Vertical is center and states. So again, hope I'm making myself clear. And here are the example. Maharashtra is good. 70% of revenue they're generating internally, not too much dependent on center. So even if there are different governments in Maharashtra and center, it doesn't matter much. Low dependence, less vertical imbalance. Uttar Pradesh, 42% revenue, high dependence. But Uttar Pradesh is much better than Arunachal. I love Arunachal. I was there, but they are mostly dependent on center. Extreme vertical imbalance. So hope you are understanding. I don't know, sir, about bulldozer justice. Oh my God. Read about bulldozer justice, GYN. We'll talk about it some other time. It will come. Again, VFI, vertical fiscal imbalance, these all points are from mains perspective. Implication, limit state fiscal autonomy. UP is, Yogi sir is too much dependent on Modi ji. Not good. Although Yogi sir loves Modi ji and vice versa, can distort priorities. State may rely on volatile or one-time revenue, like we have seen different states, lottery and all, affects long-term planning. You, in order to show surplus, you may cut down on welfare infrastructure, which is not good at all. We'll talk about infrastructure in detail. So yeah, in short, vertical fiscal imbalance is the gap between state revenue capacity and expenditure obligation, forcing reliance on central government transfer. Oh my God, let's solve some question. This is based on the previous article. These are very good articles, guys. Which of the following measures can help mitigate inequality caused by AI? Skill transition programs like Singapore Skill Future, robot taxes creating AI infrastructure as public good universal basic income. Harshini has given the answer. So we know universal basic income can reduce inequality. So 4 has to be there. If 4 has to be there, you will eliminate A and B. Harshini, Rishi, Anandu, all of you have given the answer. So now you have to check for first skill transition, obviously. So D is the answer. Always use option elimination, guys. It's very underrated, this option elimination thing. You know? So D is the answer. Very good, Harshini, Rishi, Anandu, and GY. MCQ 5. Which of the following is true regarding India's welfare paradox as highlighted in the article which we have just discussed? Robot taxes, I just told you, Rishi. Robot taxes is the phenomena where, if a particular company is replacing human with robots, then they will pay a certain amount of tax to the government. Let's say 1 lakh rupee per robot. So if you're replacing human with robot, you will pay 1 lakh rupee. We're just taking example. That 1 lakh rupee will be used for UBI or other schemes. It will be given to people, unemployed people who have lost their job because of these robots, etc. So that is robot tax. Very good, Harshvardhan. So, Pratik, Harshini, they have given the answer of India's welfare paradox. States are able to sustain large welfare programs due to strong internal revenue base. Paradox it is. Welfare scheme often rely on central funding, creating fiscal fragility. States like Punjab and Kerala show fiscal surplus. Paradox reflects excess fiscal independence of state. No, not independence, dependence. So, welfare schemes rely on central funding, creating fiscal fragility, as stated by Pratik, Harshini, Rishi, Anandu, Jivan also tried it, and Harshvardhan. Very good, cool. MCQ 6, assertion and reason. States that depend heavily on central transfer face vertical fiscal imbalance. Vertical fiscal imbalance occurs when states have limited borrowing capacity. She also looks similar. No, not similar. It's different, Jivai. So Harshini has given the answer. R is false. Vertical fiscal imbalance does not occur when states have limited borrowing capacity. Vertical fiscal imbalance occurs when states' revenue generating capacity is lesser than what they are spending, and centers' revenue generating capacity is bigger. It's not about borrowing capacity, it's about revenue generation capacity. So the answer is C. The, a reason is wrong, and hope you understand why reason is wrong, because it's not about limited borrowing capacity. Imbalance is happening because states have more to spend but lesser revenue generating capacity, not borrowing capacity. You have to borrow if there is an imbalance, right? So again, like and subscribe, guys, share it, spread it. Again, and technique, I've told you today there are so many awesome articles. Page 20, science 2, clustering maize plants together can improve their insect resistance. Before we talk about this technical article, it's very technical, very technical. So first of all, tell me, what is a maize, whether it is a rabi crop or a kharif crop? Rabi or Kharif, guys. So let me tell you what has happened here. So they are saying that mage, and let me just take that example, this image only. This will help you understand. So generally, what happens? Mage are infected by paste, right? Pastes and insects. They attack mage. Mage is called as makka. Okay, makke ki roti, very popular in northern India. So, so Pratik and Harshini, they have given the answer. I have told you the mnemonic also to remember about, these Kharif and Rabi crops, if you remember it. So the author of this editorial or this science article is talking about when these insects, they attack maize, they, in that scenario, maize releases a particular substance. Saps means substance, and we'll talk about that particular substance, what that particular substance is. And when they releases it, they also give warning signals to nearby plants. So in that scenario, what happens, even nearby plants, they releases that particular substance, thereby getting minimally infected by paste. So when they are clustered, when they are spaced together, in that particular scenario, what happens, they are less impacted by paste, because they have released this particular substance. We'll talk about that particular substance or that particular entity. But that will lead to, because they have released that particular entity, the production is lesser, the maize is not producing that much, the output is lesser, their output is lesser, although they are less infected by paste. Hope you're understanding. And when they are far apart, when these maize plants are far apart, then what happens, they are means releasing this particular entity individually, other plants are not knowing about it. In that scenario, they are more impacted by paste, but the output will be somewhat higher. Why output will be higher? Because again, you will understand, be with me, you will understand where I'm going with this. So let's try to understand this. So maize originated blah blah blah, as you people have stated that maize is a kharif crop. I have told you the mnemonic for kharif and rabi crops. So kharif crop is kobama ki tujori, right? So cotton, bajra, maize, tur, jowar, rice, that is the mnemonic for kharif crops. And rabi crops, guys, we have discussed this thousand number of times now. Rabi crops is viva gram, Viva gram, wheat, barley, gram, rapeseed, and mustard. So again, challenges facing maize cultivation, heavy reliance on large scale, blah blah blah. Global. Again, let's focus here. They are impacted by carbon emission, etc. But that is not what this article is all about. This article is talking something interesting. So here, Luna Lul based plant communication. So plants communicate among themselves. The maize plant, they are communicating among themselves. How they are communicating among themselves? That is the question here, which we have to understand. Just give me a second. Talking something interesting. So yes, sir. Let's see. So feedback mechanism when involving Lina Lul, and this is the entity we are talking about. So what is happening? Maize plants release more linalool when attacked by insects, especially in crowded fields, signaling nearby plants and triggering defensive responses. So what is happening? When they are attacked by insects, they are releasing linalool, and when this linalool is means released, other nearby plants, they are also knowing that some, they are also knowing that some plant is there based on the scent or anything, whatever way they are knowing it. So then they will also release linalool. When the linalool is released, these maize plants, they are not that much impacted by insects, but because all of them were involved in doing this particular thing, they will not produce that much output as a crop. Hope you're understanding where we are going with this. So in dense planting, central plants suffered less insect damage than edge plants. Edge plant means which are at a fire, means higher, like which is at the edge. Again, let's try to understand. Let's say this is the crop plant, and if they are clustered together, then what will happen? One is releasing linalool, other plant is getting a scent of it, they're also releasing it, they're less impacted by it. But if some plant is far off, they will not never know about this linalool, and they will not be ready with this defensive response. So maybe their output is higher, but they will be impacted more by the pest. That is what they are saying. Central plant suffered less. Guys, am I audible, visible to all of you? Central plants suffered less insect damage than edge plants, indicating enhanced defense. This came with a trade-off: slower growth and reduced biomass, because your energy is invested somewhere else. You are invested in protecting yourself, so that's why the biomass growth or the output will be lesser. You will be protected, but the output will be lesser. Am I clear? Are you understanding where we are going with this? Okay, 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 okay. Cool. So let's focus on MCQ 7. Linalool, a volatile compound, means compound released by mage, primarily function, cool, primarily functions to do what? Enhance photosynthesis, attract pollinators, act as a warning signal to neighboring plants, increase seed size. Oh my God, just give me a second. Okay, so Prateek, Anandu, Rishi, Harshini, Jiva, and all of you have given the answer. Linalool, a volatile compound released by mage, primarily functions to do what? Enhance photosynthesis, attract pollinators, act as a warning signal to neighboring plants, as stated by Prateek. Lesser output means yield, so yeah, yield. So that is the basic rationale here, because they are more involved in protecting themselves, so the biomass production will be lesser. And because they're involved somewhere else, their mind is involved somewhere else. That happens with us also. If we are involved somewhere else, our mind can focus on one particular thing. Same with mage. So it is acting as a warning signal to neighboring plants. Very good here. Prateek, Anandu, Rishi, Harshini, and Jivayan. Let's focus on PYQ 8 related to Kharif crop and all, which we have just discussed. So cotton, groundnut, maize, mustard, which of the above are Kharif crops? I've told you the mnemonic. Pratik has given the answer for this particular question. Kharif crops, the mnemonic was Kobama ki tu jori. So cotton, bajra, maize, tur, jowar, rice, right? Focus on the capital words. So cotton is a Kharif crop. Eliminate third. Cotton, bajra, maize. Maize is a Kharif crop. So you need 1 and 3. So if you need 1 and 3, this is also gone. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mustard is not there. This is Kharif. The mnemonic for mustard is a Rabi crop. Viva gram. So wheat, barley, gram, rapeseed, and mustard. Mustard is a Rabi crop. So fourth is wrong. You're left with B. B is the answer as stated by Prateek, Anandu, Rishi, Harshini, and Jivan. Very good here. Page 6 editorial. What an empty plate of food should symbolize. So September 29. Today is September 29, right? So September 29 is International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste. And again here, this Takayuki Hagiwara sir is FAO representative in India. Food and Agricultural Organization, part of UN. Headquarter is in Rome, Italy, and they also publish something known as Codex Alimentarius, which has been asked by UPSC earlier, which is actually a food, standard foods and all, Codex Alimentarius. So now they are talking about the September 29 International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste. Now, guys, there's a question for you people. Food processing. Food processing comes under which portion of GS paper, GS mains paper? Food processing. So food processing is when you're converting, you're taking, let's say paneer means milk, you're converting it to paneer. So that is food processing. There was a earlier former food processing minister of ours, Harsimrat Kaur Badal ma'am. Harsimrat Kaur Badal ma'am. She said that India is one of the largest producer of food in the world, but there is enormous food wastage. And that is what this article is talking about. And we should not do that, because let's try to understand it from one perspective. Paddy is rice. Paddy is rice. So rice cultivation happens. If you're, uh, wasting it, it also releases methane. So food wastage is not only about India as a poor country, which we should not lose, means, waste food. It's also about environmental impact. You are not realizing these food wastage is also having a lot of environmental impact. Rice releases a lot of methane, guys, which is a very potent greenhouse gas. So we have to be very aware of this. So September 29, this particular day, and globally one third of all food produced is lost or wasted. Remember this, India major food producer, but also lost of losses happens. Now there are certain terms which are important from Jivan has given the answer GS3. Very good here. So it is in GS3. So what are the different terms which are involved here, which we have to understand? So food loss can happen at distribution side, when you are distributing it, or at consumer side. So if I ask you people right now, what do you think? Where does maximum food, loss is happening in India? From which side? Like from the distribution side or from the consumer side? So economic loss, see how much, around 4% of agricultural GDP we are losing. Food loss is happening because, again, when you do food processing, you realize we don't have cold storage, proper refrigeration we don't have. You don't have proper forward and backward linkages. What is the basic meaning here? A forward and backward linkages. Harshini has also given the answer GS3. GS3, very good here. Agriculture is a different topic, Rishi. Food processing is a separate topic also. Agriculture is there in the topic 3, 4 of GS3, and then you have food processing also. What I was telling you, I forgot. So cold storage, last mile connectivity is absent, forward and backward linkages are absent. So people sometimes throw away their tomatoes on the road. All these things are happening. So again, consequences: lost nutrition, wasted water, energy, labor, and reduces farmer income. Environmental sustainability is the point which nobody talks about, which you have to keep in mind. This is one dimension which you have to focus on. Cool. Food loss and climate connection. Food loss varies by crop region. Again, you can read these things. Key findings on GHG emission. Even small losses in cereals like paddy emit 10 plus million tons of CO2 equivalent annually due to methane. So again, don't eat so much rice, guys. That's just so stupid. When I was in Hyderabad, I was eating lemon rice, this rice, that rice. I love rice, but I like wheat more. I like chapati more. Again, let's focus here. Total emission from food loss across 30 commodities, blah, blah, blah. Losses occur. Now, what India is doing to tackle this? So we have launched some different things. We have launched mega food parks. We are ensuring last mile connectivity by creating road infrastructure. We have launched PM Kishan Sampada Yojana. So these are the things which are important. Again, important from means perspective also. Food processing. Make separate notes for food processing, guys. Very, very important. Coming and distribution, consuming and distribution. How much more losses from distribution side to storage? Yes, this is the point. You may feel like in India, food losses may be happening more from consumer side. No, distribution side. So it's not like, in our like house, fathers like eat it, poor people are not getting food to eat, don't waste food. We are not wasting food that much. The issue is the food losses is happening from the distribution side because of what we have just discussed: lack of forward and backward linkages, lack of proper cold storage, and all those stuff. So we have to focus on that, and that is the point which the author is also talking about. Cool, sir. So solution, multi-prong approach, blah, blah, blah. Cold chain strengthening, surplus food production can be directed to community chickens, means kitchens, chickens. Oh my God, policy support is needed. So hope you have understood where we are going with this. And we need more such schemes like PM Kishan Sampada Yojana, mega food parks, etc. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in later, Hindu analysis as well. This is important. Directly linked to our main syllabus. Tackling food requires collaboration. There should be somewhere they may have written that where the food loss is happening in India. You see this? In India, losses occur mainly early in the supply chain, handling, processing, and distribution, unlike high income countries where waste is mostly consumer level. So we are doing good in that regard. We are not that bad. And sister and Harshini, oh my God. Cool. So, yes, sir. What is the way forward? This thing that multiple ministries, multiple collaboration, community, approach, integrate food losses, backward linkages, blah, blah, blah. You can have a talk about this. Then circular model. What is a circular model? What is a circular economy? Circular economy means what? Let's say you did not eat some food and etc. It can be converted to a biomass, converted to biofuel, reduce, reuse, recycle. That is the basic concept of circular model. Reduce, reuse, recycle. And that's what circular model is talking about. So this is again one point which you can talk about here. Consumers should reduce household waste. We are not doing that. We are not America. We are fine in that. Our issue is mainly from the distribution side. So again, this particular day of food loss and waste is a reminder that reducing food loss is essential for food security. Also important from climate action perspective, as we have discussed Paddy thing. Saving food means saving the climate. So it's not only about giving food to the hungry people. An empty plate should represent a meal enjoyed, not wasted. Cool. Again, a question based on this Kharif and Rabi crops. Solve this. So you have cotton, you have groundnut, you have rice, you have wheat. Which of these are Kharif crops? Rishi has given the answer. Jiva and Harshini, all of you have given the answer. So we know wheat is not a Kharif crop, so we can eliminate four. If we eliminate four, you're left with B and C, right? So rice has to be there, and cotton is there. Kobama ki tu jori, right? So cotton is there. So C is the answer, as stated by Rishi, Jiva and Harshini, Pratik and Anandu. Very good here. MCQ 10. In India, losses of paddy have a disproportionately high impact on greenhouse emission. Why? Harshini has given the answer for MCQ 10. Rice cultivation emits, we are just talking about how much CH4 it emits, right? So Harshini, Rishi, Pratik, Jiva and Anandu, all of you have given the answer. Very good here, A is the answer. Then next article, page 12, Astrosat, India's first space observatory, launched in 2015, launched for 5 years. What was the purpose of this? 1500 kg, launched in low Earth orbit. The purpose was to see space in different wavelengths, visible light, ultraviolet light, infrared light. So there is a visible portion of space. There's an invisible portion of space about which we don't know anything about. So visible is spaces which you're seeing from visible light. Then you have to see the other part of space also, which is not, again, this is too complicated. We're not going there. What you have to understand, there are so many things about space. And this UPSC has already asked a PYQ on Astrosat. We'll solve that. So there are two theories about space, and both are equally scary. And what are those two theories? One, we are alone in this universe. Second, we are not alone in this universe. And both these theories are equally scary. We are alone or we are not alone. And we don't know much. And that's why, whatever we know, that is a very small part of the universe. We don't know more than 90% of this universe. What is there? Maybe that figure is somewhere dark matter and all those stuff. So this is a space observatory. Its basic purpose is to analyze space through different wavelengths. So wavelengths like visible light, infrared, ultraviolet, blah blah blah. And the thing is, India is one of the few countries. Japan has this, China has this particular space observatory, Russia has it, US has it. Russia, US, and all, again EU have it. So let's focus on the key terms here. When was it launched? Launched for 5 years. It has worked for 10 years. So we are doing good in that regard. India's first dedicated space astronomy observatory, Astrosat, completed 10 years. Launched for 5 years, completed 10 years. Launched via PSLV. They can give you, it was launched by Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, not PSLV. So yeah, it is our workhorse. Workhorse means we have launched so many satellite in space via this particular vehicle. Mission Life, again, you can see this thing. They study black holes studies, and again, they are just observing. There are different kind of satellite, guys. There's one remote sensing satellite. Then there is telecommunication satellite. This is an observatory. This is just observing universe, detected far ultrawave photons, blah blah blah. Now let's focus on the terms here. And they are not just observing universe in visible light. So we have visible and invisible, so they have different wavelengths. Again, this is a technical part, wavelength, frequency, blah blah blah. So we are not going there. You just keep it in mind that they are observing universe in different wavelengths. That's it. And it is developed by ISRO, but some universities have helped us from India and abroad. Cool. Now, what are the things which are important from exam perspective? This Astrosat launch mass, what is the weight? 1500 kg. Where was it kept? 650 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Does other means countries have these astronomy observatories? The answer is yes. US has it, Europe has it, Japan has it, China has it. So these are the things which are important from exam perspective. These are the points which you have to keep in mind from exam perspective. Now let's have a look at some questions. This is PYQ 11 based on AstroSat. Other than US and Russia, India is the only country to have launched a similar observatory into space. It is a 2000 kg satellite placed in an orbit at 1650 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. And yes, again, these are factual questions. Sometimes you may have heard this particular thing that UPSC never asks factual questions. Not entirely true. This is a very factual question. Harshini has given the answer. Jivan has given the answer. Pratik. So other than US and Russia, we have just seen Japan has it, China has it. So first is wrong. If first is wrong, you're left with B and D. If you go back, see this slide. US, Europe, Japan, China, all of them have it. 2000 kg satellite. It is not 2000. It is 1500 kg satellite. Not 2000. So again, these are factual information. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. So the answer is D, neither. Cool, sir. PY MCQ 12, have a look at this particular question. The trade-off observed in high density maize planting is what? If you know the answer, post it in the comment section. We'll have a discussion tomorrow. MCQ 13, the prime purpose of robot taxes is what? I think somebody asked it explicitly. I told you. Again, think about it. We'll have a discussion tomorrow on this. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. And one news for you people. You can post your score. I have stopped mentorship program for the time being. So it is closed for now. You cannot take, admissions right now. If you have written UPSC mains earlier, you can still avail it. I will open it in future. When I will open it, I don't know for now because I have to deal with the current students right now. But yes, you can always get these individual courses. Mentorship is not open for now. It is closed for now. For those guys who have written mains, you can get it at 4999. But you can buy these individual courses. History through NCRT series, I will insist. Please buy it at the earliest. Even if your history is awesome, even if your history is not, buy it at the earliest, guys. You will be surprised how many questions come from these NCRTs and how underutilized they are. If you have covered it, awesome. Even then, you can have a look at it. I strongly suggest it. And then means evaluation. You have to do your evaluation. If somebody else is doing it for you, good. If nobody is doing it for you, take it. I have got maximum queries here. Mentorship, so I'm closing. That can tell you what has happened, why I've closed it. I'm not able to deal with people. Plus, I've got some students who are not interested in mentorship at all. They send me a message at 3 a.m. just to talk and all. So for various reasons, I have closed it for now. Man, this 4999 means clear. Like again, we'll talk about it later on. So I will open it 1 week, 2 week, 1 month from now. I will open this mentorship. But yes, these individual courses are still on. Buy it. Means complete material in Q&A format. I will send some, make some shorts on this questions from which like in mains which has come from my material, and then you will understand whether you have to buy this thing or not. But yes, history through NCRT series, Hindu analysis period also take it, guys. You know why? I'm not saying you have to take it because I'm the best. Maybe I'm not. But the thing is, you have studied from me, so you will retain stuff in a much better manner. So yeah, individual things are going on. Mentorship is closed for now. Okay, sir. So that's it from me, guys and girls. I will see you people. You can also donate. I will see you people tomorrow at what? 7:30 a.m. Any queries? Any doubts, guys? Then I'll be gone now. ঠিক আছে? So yes, I will see you people. Then good. Bye bye, Rishi. So yeah.